It's about that time to talk about the magic. Sit back, relax, and grab a Dole Whip. It's time to start talking all things Disney. And now, here's your host, Joseph Ballesteros.
What is going on, Magic Cheers? Welcome to this brand new episode. But I'm just going to continue the numbers because it's easier that way. But I have an awesome guest today. He's somebody who is very well known in the Disney community. He is a periscoper, a website owner, of course, and a guru when it comes to just knowing about Disney. I love talking with him. Brian. And his website is skywalkingadventure.com, which you guys, of course, I'll have that in the show notes, but you want to make sure to check it out for all the latest stuff when it comes to Disney. We're going to have some fun today because, you know, there's a lot of Disney podcasts out there, and I listen to quite a few of them, and there's like a weird kind of 50-50 thing where you got some podcasts who are like, we will not discuss D23 rumors. We are not going to do this. And then you got like the other podcasts where they're just like, let's go crazy and let's just completely start making stuff up, you know? So, and Brian is one of the, just like I am here, I've kind of felt a little more strong about this. We kind of want to go with what we know to be fact. So this episode, we're going to do a little careful in the sense of we're going to talk rumors, what we are thinking, or at least what's being rumored to come up in D23. But we're not necessarily jumping on board saying it's black and white for sure it's going to happen. Because until Disney actually announces it, there's just no proof. It just seems to happen that way. There's a lot of things that we assume, and you know, Disney comes out and just like doesn't talk about it at all. And that's just like, okay. And of course, Brian also did visit D23 when it was 2 years back. So he can give us a little bit of experience with that too, and kind of what that experience was like for all of us who just have not been able to get out there. But without taking any more breath here, how are you doing, Brian? How has your week been with all these D23 rumors going around?
Pinch me now. Is it Christmas morning yet already? Did Disney Santa Claus already come with all these rumors and all these like things? Like seriously, like OMG, yeah. Come on.
It seems like every single day it's like you refresh your feed and all of a sudden it's just like there's a new little rumor coming out.
I'm like literally like every time I wake up in bed, I just immediately go on Twitter and I just constantly see the news. It's just mind-boggling of how much like news, rumors, and speculation is all this pipe for like D23. I mean, guys, if you guys are listening right now, we're on the eve of D23 right now. This is the eve, dawn. This is the calm before the storm. So.
Exactly. Yeah, and here's the thing, guys. That's why you want to definitely be following Brian, too, because I know he's going to be updating the site when D23 starts actually putting up proper information. We start getting real news. But yeah, for sure, yeah, like it's funny because there's so much. It's like it comes every 2 years. Well, Disney has kind of now changed that a little bit because they kind of give like a soft D23 like they did last year in Florida. But it comes every 2 years, the main one. And so it's like 2 years of giving us the opportunity to start thinking, what would be crazy? What's going to happen? What are we gonna? And it's funny because yeah, we see Disney, they make so many changes and they do it so quickly. They really like to just do it when nobody's expecting it. We had the Lost and Maelstrom with Frozen coming over. All of a sudden, we found out that Hollywood Studios was going to be getting this edition, closing this part of animation down. Then we're going to, obviously here on Magic Kingdom, we see that they were going to take away wishes, and it's all of a sudden going to be, and it's just like, they just come out and they do it quick. So D23 is interesting because the way I see it is all these little things that they've been changing apparently are not as big as potentially what's going to be talked about in D23.
No, I agree.
It's going to be exciting.
It's going to be exciting, and, I think it's just everyone wants to, wants to be about Bob Chapek to the punch and saying, oh, guess what? We so-and-so, we already know this, but the thing is, going to D23, it's all about, just passionate fans, just like hanging out for one crazy weekend. I mean, you're right across from Disneyland, the OG daddy-o of all where it started. Yeah. And it's just, it's just kind of crazy, like people saying, I just don't want to hear people saying, oh, well, we heard this and so because, it's respected. But if you've been following the trends, you've been following your social media, it's you know what's going to happen. So
exactly. And what was D23 like when you went? Because I mean, I look at the schedule now, and there's so much stuff happening. How did you kind of Did you just have to really pick on what you really felt was your favorite?
It's like when you first enter college and you just don't know what to do. That's exactly like what I did. There's like so many different classes. It's like picking your classes, but you know that they intersect and they intertwine with each other. That's what pretty much what D23. It's like you go to college and you don't know what to choose.
That is a perfect analogy. I love that analogy. That's so true. I think that pretty much will make everybody understand immediately what they would be expecting when they get to D23. So, and because that's what I always wonder too. I'm like, there's so many good panels that happen, and of course, there's still a bunch of stuff to see on the floor without even visiting a panel. So it's like, what do you do? It's like, oh my gosh, so much stuff.
I know, and it's for me who has been like, I've like been like, watching like, like other cons, like I've been watching like, like E3 for most of my life, or like watching San Diego Comic-Con, or like, like KazuCon or Anime Con. Like I've been wanting to go all these like cons all my life, but D23 was actually my first real con, and let's just say it was a huge learning curve for me. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. It was like, I brought my mom and I was like, what did I get myself into? Like, seriously. But seriously, but D23 is a ball. But like I said, one thing I gotta say though is that you don't have to be at that expo all day. I mean, you can go out, you can go back to your room, go refresh, you can go hang out in the parks. I mean, it's like I said, but I think because now with like, usually the crowds, because crowds are usually random, but it's just, you get the experience of like, let's say, hey, I want to spend like a good chunk of the day, and then I go to Disneyland or DCA and just go have some rides, get some food, and then, rinse and repeat. Now, it's kind of crazy now. I think D23 this year, personally, my opinion, it's kind of crazy how they're making everyone stay, because literally the day after Disney, D23 is over, Fantastic returns. Isn't that crazy? Yep. So, and also the 62th birthday of Disneyland too.
So true. Yeah, there's like, that's why I'm like, and see, that's the other thing too. It's like you said, you're right across from Disneyland, so it's like that's the other thing. It's like I'm going to D23. I want to go to Disneyland as well.
Yeah, you want to go to the parks, and I mean, like I said, and I know, because believe me, trust me, tons of celebrities are spotted there at D23 or even the parks. I was even remotely. I even got to meet Jeffrey Goodwin's husband, Josh Dallas, who plays Prince Charming on Once Upon a Time on ABC. So, yeah,
that's
and
awesome.
not to mention, I was in the same lobby with George Lucas too. I was like, oh my god.
That is so good. And that's what I think is attractive mostly about D23. It's that kind of, it really is, you are with the people that understand you best, and you can really just let it all out and just kind of geek out about everything with Disney. And
you got the nerd out, and like you see all the exclusive like merchandise, and trust me, you will bring home a lot of merchandise, a lot.
Yeah, they have so many exclusives that are there. It's like you better make sure to take some extra cash, because for sure there is stuff that you can only get there. So. And one thing, advice, I'm sorry to cut you off, but like I said, do utilize the convention's mailing service. They have a mailing service. They can actually send packages and ship it back to your house. So really,
yep,
like that. That's all. Yeah, so you don't have to take it on the plane with you. That's perfect.
Nope,
just mail it for you. Love it. So we're gonna talk two major rumors today, and one of the rumors, it's been everywhere. So I'm gonna save that rumor for last, and I'm gonna go with this first rumor that I think is a little more realistic as far as because of the moves we've already seen from Disney, and that's with the Guardians of the Galaxy coming in to potentially replace the Universe of Energy. So Universe of Energy, for a lot of people, especially myself, well, I shouldn't say for a lot of people, but I'll say this for myself. It's one of my favorite rides. And it's one of my favorite rides because of the fact that there's nobody ever on it. It really is a great place for you to kind of get your energy back, sit down, relax, feel the air condition. It's a long enough, out of the sun kind of attraction where you're going to be able to relax a little bit and not have to worry about that floor heat. And it, like I said, it's usually pretty empty. So the rumor is, though, that they're going to be getting rid of that, replacing it with the Guardians of the Galaxy and the ride kind of attraction. And the reason why I say this is more realistic is we did see this happen, of course, in Disneyland. we did see the Tower of Terror go away, and they brought in a Guardians of the Galaxy style ride. So the thing is, the ride is pretty much the same, but the whole, obviously the visuals and the storyline behind it is completely different. So, for me, I'm a little bit mixed because, like I say, pretty much every single time, Disney is working on making each park a 2-day visit. They don't want you to leave, to go to other parks or to leave half a day. They want you to stay in the parks all day and potentially even go back. Epcot is one of those. I think they've done a great job, of course, adding Pandora now to Animal Kingdom. And we know what they're bringing to, of course, Hollywood Studios. But Epcot was one of those weird situations where it's like you don't want to mess too much with what Epcot is because of all of the different worlds that are there. But at the same time, you're trying to bring a little more oomph, behind it. So what do you think about this?
Well, first of all, what do you mean by energy? Energy means you're energized and ready for a nap.
There you go. Exactly. That's my point.
Well, actually, if you know, but actually, in all seriousness, you've been hearing the pun. Now, say Epcot will transfer towards to Epcot. Intellectual properties changes to everything or something like that.
Yeah.
It's one of those weird situations that because Epcot, like I said, that was Walt's vision, the vision that was never, pursued. Because you got to understand the message for Epcot is about futurism, science, human society, and culture. That's what Epcot is all about. And it's one of those weird situations where you throw a, intellectual property like Marvel. It's pretty much you're just going back and you're reinventing the whole wheel. Like, what I mean is that you're going back to ground one and just like throwing something in there that people are not 100% positive sure they are a Marvel fan or a superhero fan, because honestly, now that people don't really care for superheroes, which is totally understandable, but it's basically, as I say, you're just trying to figure out, like, what kind of ride system are we going to do? What kind of characters? Believe it or not, actually, for a little, if you guys didn't know this, but Joe Rohde got promoted and, doing Marvel, and you're like, wait a minute, Joe Rohde, comic books? What? Yeah. It's like Joe Rohde's all about nature and his art. It's like, but really? And like he got promoted to doing Marvel? It's just one of those weird. I just don't know. It's really hard to, like I say, are they going to make it like a theater? And I know we're probably going to say this, but with screens, yes, I know, get the universal joke. I get it. But it's just.
Well, see, what's funny is you're right. I was pretty surprised when they started doing the advertisements for Guardians of the Galaxy, and I started seeing Joe Rohde as the person describing the actual ride, and I was just like, whoa, like, okay. Mm-hmm. But that also excited me to an extent because I said, you know what, I felt like Disney is tapping into a new thing, and they said, we're not going to make no mistakes, we're going to get our top guy to do this. But what's interesting is, like, in Universal Energy, you walk in, you're surrounded by screens, you're there for a good, I don't even know, like 5, maybe 10 minutes of talking. Then you actually make your way into the ride, you sit down, and then it's even longer as far as very slow moving, and you're seeing all this stuff happening. I don't know what they're going to do either, because to me, it's interesting because if they shorten the ride, I feel like if they shorten the ride, then you might as well completely just change everything about it and make it like a whole new kind of like roller coaster or a fast attraction style ride, because I don't see people getting on there, for that long watching a Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy is fast paced, it's action packed. Yeah. And here's the thing, of course, we can never discount Disney. They're geniuses. They probably have something up their sleeve that we're not even able to imagine yet. But you know, for me, what does make sense with this is obviously they have this IP of Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a huge success. And in their mind, they say, well, now if we put Guardians of the Galaxy in here in this ride, instead of people walking out just to the sun, they'll walk out into a gift shop again. And that's all, that's of course a big thing for Disney, because right now, if you walk out of Universal Energy, it's not like you can buy an Ellen doll or a Bill Nye doll or nothing like that. It's like,
no. Or like, or get like an action figure scream, Bill.
I would love that.
Oh my, no, listen, I swear to God, if you can create your own avatar in like, for the gift shop of Wind Traders, why not like make your own Bill Nye the Science Guy and make it the screen Bill Nye the Science Guy? I mean, how cool and epic with this? I mean, oh my God.
Yeah, so to me, it makes sense because, like I said, Disney is doing so many changes, and it only makes sense for them to say, look, we have this ride that is not attracting a lot of people, and let's make it into something that's going to make kids say, let's go to Epcot because they have Test Track, they have Guardians of the Galaxy now. They have so that'll make people excited to actually head over to Epcot.
Well, if you've been reading on your Epcot project status, I mean, I don't know if you heard, but what they're planning and what I'm hearing through Rumor Q is that for the budget is that they want to do it in a $1 billion investor of Epcot. And I don't know if you know this, but do you know what the spine of Epcot means?
What Epcot means? Is that what you're saying?
No. What the spine of Epcot means?
No.
So the spine of Epcot is actually the entrance of World Showcase down to the main park entrance, and it looks like a spine.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it looks like a spine. So basically, what they're doing, what I'm hearing is through Rumor Q, is that they want to start with Future World because right now all those attractions are closed. Now even Mission Space 2. Now there was also another rumor too, if you know her speaking around talking rumors, is that there was rumor for a Guardians of the Galaxy mission overlay. But there's one problem though. Disney still has a contract with NASA though. So contracts and something with something versus a Marvel property or like an other target, that's kind of weighs in a lot of differences. So.
Well, what's funny too is we won't get into this too much just because it's a rumor that's kind of been here and there. But the rumor, of course, is that they're going to also trade out Test Track to bring in car style of a Test Track. To bring that in now, that's a new rumor, so I don't want to get too deep into that. But
no.
But it goes to, like I said, it makes sense for Disney to be saying, you know what, let's start scrapping what we have here. With Siemens being gone now as well, it gives them an opportunity to put their own IPs to get people to buy their own merchandise.
I think I'd agree. I think Disney's trying to gain out the sponsorship. I think they said that, you know what, we had the power to do things ourselves, and we have been having sponsorships. I mean, how many sponsorships have we seen by like Kodak or Siemens or the one sponsorship I know they definitely want to get away is Coca-Cola and Dole. If not, everyone would be raging with pitchforks and everything. So just that. So, because everyone loves their Dole and Coca-Cola at the park. So
exactly, and so to me, like I said, this is a fun rumor, just an interesting rumor, and one that I actually would say, all right, Brian, let's do it this way.
Okay.
Percentage of you thinking this rumor is true. Let's go from 1 to 10. Let's do it on a scale of 1 to 10. What do you think the likelihood of this being true?
I say an 8.
An 8. I would actually pretty much agree right on with that. An 8, because I think I'll say this. I wouldn't be surprised, like I said, if they said it. They may not talk about this at all, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did say something to this effect. Mm-hmm. So definitely agree with you on that. Now, the second one, which is a huge rumor, it just seemed to have popped out of everywhere. It started off over on wdwnewstoday.com, which is another fun site to read. But they are all in on this rumor right here, so they better hope they get it right.
I just love how I'm sorry, but no offense to W, but I love how when they say confirmed and in the next say, oh, guess what, we have a best of sources, but guess what, Disney has officially confirmed.
Exactly. That's what I mean. I'm like, they went all in, but they are also with this rumor of seeing that it's going to be a Tron ride coming over to Magic Kingdom to the Speedway. So what's interesting about this is we all know about, first off, the Tron ride that Disney already has done. What is it?
In Shanghai.
Shanghai. So incredible looking ride, amazing and awesome, and kind of I see it now as something that's very unique and very cool in that way. But the rumor is that they're going to be bringing a Tron ride now to Speedway. Now the question is it going to be that Tron ride? Is it going to be a different style Tron ride? And more importantly, what's interesting to me is, to me, this is a fun rumor because it kind of has two things. One, they're changing it for Tron. Okay. Two, what are they going to be doing with Tron now? Is this going to be something they want to try to bring back? I'm sorry. No, you go. You can finish. Sorry. Actually, what I've been hearing is that, you've been hearing through the movie news is that there's supposed to be a sequel to the third to Tron. Yep. But the thing is, I think they're kind of like putting on the shelf for now, but they're in the scripts are process of it, and they just want to make sure it's like now, because to be honest with you, Tron's actually in my opinion, an underappreciated IP. It's more bigger than the Asian parks because they are totally accessible than we are.
But over here, we love Tron, but it's not as how much of a big market over in the Asian parts from Disney. So,
and I would agree. Like personally, for me, the remake of Tron that they did, I personally really enjoyed it. Or I shouldn't say the remake per se. It was more like
a sequel.
Yeah, but, and it was really good. I really liked it. And I know it necessarily wasn't maybe the blockbuster that they. It was a weird transition. I think Disney was going at the time, but it's interesting to me because I say, okay, if they bring Tron in, we see what they did in Shanghai. Let's say they bring Tron in here, and it's a huge success. It would only make sense that they would now say, you know what, let's go ahead and take this film off the back burner. It's going to sink well. Because what's interesting too is, something I read about when they were talking about Pandora is how what's funny is, of course, Pandora is supposed to have 2 and 3 15 years ago, right? But it appears they still haven't come out with it. But what's interesting is they said that the park would be influenced by the films and the film would somehow still be influenced by the parks. And so what's interesting to me is I thought, like, if they made Tron kind of a good little package deal in the sense of, like, we're going to make this film and we're going to kind of give you clips of it here in the park. I mean, it would just make sense, and it would be a great way for people to get their appetite little fix and get them a little hungry for Tron again, because Tron has been out of the light now for so many years that I think a lot of people would just be like, all right, whatever.
And recently Tron just celebrated its 35th anniversary too.
Exactly. But so to me, it just makes sense in that sense, more of why Disney would do this. Now, here's my thing. Will Disney be replacing Speedway for Tron? This is why I say this is interesting to me, because all of the rides that have been kind of replaced so far, even though they do have history, they don't really have a long history. They did have a start point and such. So it's kind of like, well, except for Tower of Terror. I mean, that had history. But what's interesting to me is I'm like, Speedway is one of those rides that is, I would say, even more of a it's a very delicate thing, even more than Energy, even more than even Maelstrom.
Yeah.
It's something that every parent can ride with their children. It's something that every child can grow up and have as a memory to tell their own kid. I mean, it's a very, very established thing. So I'm thinking, like, is it smart for Disney to even do something like this? Because, if they do this, what's to stop them from messing with, Spaceship Earth? Or what's to stop them from, Space Mountain? And these rides, while they're fun and great, I think what really makes them so amazing is the history behind it and the connection you have going and getting on as a kid or even as an adult. So let's go, Brian. What do you think?
Okay. Well, here's the one thing. Here's the one that I actually want to bring. There's a couple points I want to bring up. One of the points is that the thing is, Tron is actually based on that 20th century, of the 80s, right? Where Tomorrowland is designed about the Jules Verne the versions of the future of the 1950s. So another point I also want to bring up too is that, now I know you're gonna sound crazy, but I don't want everyone to get all hyped because everyone's on the hype train for this. But do not be disappointed. Do not be disappointed if they don't announce it. Now, here's why. Reason why. Is because we haven't seen any permit activity. When Disney actually puts anything for permits, that actually means that they're pulling the trigger on this. Number two, but the other problem I see with the zoo is that with being such a huge popular and e-ticket attraction, I'm assuming and I'm fearing that it will be like the same issue with Adventureland with all the crowd congestion. And number three, will this be done before the Magic Kingdom's 50th anniversary by 2021 too? So let that sink in through your head and thinking, those points. I mean, if they want to bring this coaster because Vekoma is the coaster manufacturer who's designed this bad boy, it's really just a matter of how saying that is this something that the fans truly want? Does it fit with the theming of Tomorrowland? Where it actually, personally, in my opinion, would be more suitable for in Epcot because it's about the future. It's about that grid style type of 80s, and ironically, it was 80s. That's where the first Tron was based off in the 1980s. So these are the things you need to weigh on. Like saying, I know everyone's hyped about Tron, but these are the things you gotta probably want to consider. Like I said, I just don't want. Correct me. Like I said, I won't be truly disappointed if they don't announce Tron at D23 this upcoming Saturday at the Production Resorts panel, because I just don't want everyone getting all like saying you do not do expect the unexpected pretty much.
Yeah, and honestly, I would agree in that sense. Everything you just said, it's very true. They don't have any permits out, and it does make a lot more sense for it to be something like that, because, like I said, again, Magic Kingdom is the easiest place to get people to go in, the easiest place for people to spend 2 days in. I think that's kind of the last thing they're going to be messing with. I think they're going to be focusing a lot of their energy on things like in Epcot, or of course the Hollywood Studios with everything that's going on there. So it just, I would agree. I think this rumor for me, while it's fun and it would be in my head, it would be like, okay, I guess it would be cool. Again, Disney does do stuff that, of course, we think doesn't make sense, but it just wouldn't necessarily make sense in the way that is being said about it all. I just don't feel like that would be the perfect. I feel like they could get, like you said, a lot more out of it by putting it in Epcot, especially if they were going to be adding Guardians of the Galaxy, because now you have parents who say, look, we're going to go to the World Showcase. You kids can go to Guardians. You kids can go to Tron and have fun. Go to Test Track. So it becomes a lot more accessible to an entire kind of, age group, rather than right now, of course, Epcot probably being more directed to the older audience because of the World Showcase. So it just wouldn't make sense like that, like you're saying, on paper for me, for them to put such a brand new kind of ride on something that necessarily doesn't even need. Because here's the other thing too. It's not like, it's not like Speedway is like dead. Like Universal Energy makes sense, because it's like you go and you're like, is this ride still open? But it's like you go to Speedway and you can still be waiting in line for sometimes even up to an hour. I mean, the lines still go up to 20, 30, 45 minutes, because that's how much of a classic established ride it is. I don't see it making sense for them to do something like that.
Now I know wonder why people get so angry on Interstate 4 when you ride tomorrow around Speedway. So yeah, I can wonder why.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's the way I see it. I don't think. All right, so let's do our little thing here. So for me, I would say between 1 and 10, the likelihood of happening this, I would have to do like a 4.5, like maybe 5. But I honestly think there's a lot more that Disney will be discussing than this. I think if they were to do something like this, it would be like a Frozen. It would be kind of out of the blue. Hey, tomorrow, guys, is letting you know, in the next 2 months, Speedway's gone. We're going to put Tron. I don't see them announcing it for D23. What do you think?
No, I give it about, like I say, about the also a 6. I mean, it's a medium to medium announcement heavy, but like I said, my points earlier, we haven't seen the permits. We haven't seen any where, like you said, it is. But I just don't want to say you're jumping on the gun and saying it's confirmed when Disney has officially now. Like I said, Steve Jobs said But by the way, there's one more thing, and D23 is known for surprises. It is, and I don't know if, like I said, but it's just like saying, if there's no permits being filed and we have not seen any activity, that means that we haven't seen them pulling the trigger yet on this project. Trust me, it's exciting. I mean, I want to see Daft Punk as an animatronic in a showroom in the queue playing the game over and everything.
Yeah,
I just want that. So
it would be totally awesome for sure. But like I said, I mean, there's so much stuff that we do know Disney's already bringing, potentially, especially. Of course, we have a potential, pretty confirmed, but not really confirmed, but kind of confirmed, but it's a good rumor, which is, of course, Wreck-It Ralph potentially taking over Stitch's Great Escape. So, I mean, like, Disney has just so much stuff going on, and I just feel like this, I don't know how this rumor got hot. I know that, it's been discussed for the past couple of years, but I don't know what made this year to be such be the one that everyone's saying it's going to happen, but I just don't see it happening. I think Disney has a lot more to announce.
I think what the thing. Here's how I see it. I think right now they're trying to focus on Epcot first, and then I think in probably the second phase they'll focus on the Magic Kingdom's 50th anniversary. That's how I see it.
Yeah, and that does make sense. I mean, it makes a lot of sense to do something like that. So like I said, either way, we both know D23 is going to be amazing. We know that, guys. If you guys, so here's what I want you to do, because this is what you got to do, guys. This, like I said, is a new show, and I'm actually releasing this. When you're hearing this, it'll be on Friday. And I didn't warn you guys, and I apologize for that. But the reason why is because, yes, I wanted to get this out as soon as possible because D23 is happening now. So I want you guys to head over to Brian. You know what, Brian? Give your Twitter handle and, of course, your website.
Okay, so if you guys can follow me, you can follow me on my website at skywalkingadventure.com. Visit my Facebook page at Skywalking Adventure Blog. You can follow me on Instagram, Skywalker Adventure, and on Twitter, you can find me at Skywalker Adventure or Sky Advent Blog. That's ADVENT Blog. So,
and I will have that in the show notes. But yes, follow, especially on Twitter. It's like, I love it because I have my notifications on for your Twitter, and so I see it coming in every single day, and I'm like, it's like you don't stop, man. I love it. You got news after news and things going on, whether it's about Universal, whether it's about Disney, it's all good. So
and trust me, and believe it or not, but knowing Disney and Universal, I can guarantee Universal is probably going to make an announcement this week just to get some heat off from D23. I can guarantee it.
And that's a whole nother show. That is so true for sure. Yeah, that is so true. We wouldn't be surprised about it at all. I know Universal definitely that's a place I have not been to in a while, and it's changed so much since I've been. And I think when I go back, I'm gonna be just overwhelmed by so much to do.
One word: Nintendo. That's it.
Oh yeah, see, I forgot about that too. Yeah, Nintendo. I'm over here still like Harry Potter and Simpsons. They're like, no, that's way old. I mean, you got
no, just Nintendo. It's all about Nintendo.
Oh man! All right, guys. So be sure to follow Brian. And look, I really hope you guys enjoy this new format. Like I said, we're having a lot more fun. If you missed why I changed the style of the show, listen to the previous episode. I'll put that in the show notes as well. I explained kind of why I had to do this change, but I'm excited for the change. I'm excited to bring people on like Brian, and of course, I'm going to bring other guests all talking about Disney. So, guys, please be sure to share this show. Let other Disney fans and family and friends know about the show. So just simply share it. I'll have that in the show notes too, so it's easy for you to share on Twitter or Facebook. And Brian, I want to thank you for joining us today, man. You rocked it. Thank you so much.
Guys, if you see Disney Santa tomorrow, just wait. You know how happy you just are for because it's D23 tomorrow.
All right. Well, Brian, thank you for coming on today. I hope that you, as well as all the listeners, have a wonderful night, day, weekend. And as always, guys, stay magical.
This was the Talk About the Magic podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to rate, subscribe, and share with a friend. Thanks for listening, and as always, stay magical.